All right, let's look at a basic strum technique and some exercises that are absolutely going to help you so much in your strumming. Now, when I say a basic strum exercise, this doesn't mean something that's like low level. However, what I mean by it is that it's so foundational that you could take this and use it for really all of your strumming from here to 60 years from now when you're still playing, okay? You can really take what I'm about to show you, and it's very, very simple, and it's going to totally open your mind to understanding exactly when you should be strumming down and when you should be strumming up. And yes, there is definitely a way to do this. Doesn't mean that we can go outside of it, but usually, 99% of the time, there is a specific way to do a strum, a particular strum. I should almost say 100% of the time. There really is a protocol, a certain way. And we're going to talk about that today. So we've talked about whole notes and quarter notes and eighth notes, half notes, all that. Today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at some basic strumming exercises here based off of a couple of standards, okay? Now, for all of this, again, what I want you to do is take your strumming hand, lay it on the strings as light as a feather, so it's as if there's a sponge laying on your strings to mute the sound. We want that sound, not this sound. So if you're getting that sound, lighten up and just let that hand rest there. Not only is this a good exercise for what we're doing here so we're not distracted by notes ringing out like that, we can hear it better, okay? And it's also a good just mental exercise to just relax. When we're playing the guitar, we just want to relax. The more that you can relax, the better. Tensing up on any part of your body is never going to make it better or easier or faster or anything like that. Just relax, okay? The more you play, that's what's going to make it better, okay? Okay, so for this exercise, what I want you to do, the first basic strum is just this 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. We can base every single strum that we'll ever do from here on to the day we die. We can do this exercise, okay? And even afterwards, okay? So we're gonna strum 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your basic exercise, okay? Now notice, you may or may not hear my foot hitting the ground here, but either way I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice my hand is coming up every single time, so I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But I'm choosing not to hit the strings on the up strum, okay? I'm coming up, but I'm not hitting it on the up strum. I'm only hitting on the down strum because I want quarter notes only. My up strum that's not hitting the strings is called the ghost strum. Just like a ghost, in that you can't see it, we're moving our hand, but we're not hitting the strings, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do this. I know you can, because every student I've ever sat with, they can do that and not hit it on the way up. It's a pretty natural feeling. And what's happening is you're hitting the strings, and then you're kind of pulling your hand out a little bit to miss the strings on the way up, and then hitting it again on the way down. But we can very easily bring the hand a little closer to the strings and hit them on the way up. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Remember, it's so important to count. Really, really important to count, because if you're not counting, you're cheating yourself. So do the work and count, okay? Trust me, it's going to help out a ton later. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Now the first set of exercises, the first and second levels of the attached PDF to this video will discuss ghost notes, or the exercises will include ghost notes for up strums, which it seems to be a very natural thing for us, you know. So let's say we had 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to ghost strum the and of 4. What that means is we're still going to move our hand, but we're not going to hit the strings. It would look like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. Now I'm whispering "and" there to kind of prompt me to just mute that, to not mute, but to not hit the strings, okay, in that area. This takes a little getting used to, and in fact, a lot of times when people play this in the beginning, they'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then they'll stall down here. That's one thing they do. There's other things that folks do is they'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And they'll wait longer than they should. This is why I want you to count, because the beat, you've heard the expression, and the beat goes on, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and it's just going to keep going. Everybody in the band or musicians that you're playing with, if people are dancing or whatever, they're not going to stop for that one beat where you're forgetting to keep going, okay? It's a disruption to music. With music we have melody and harmony and rhythm, and if you disrupt that rhythm or any part of that, the harmony or the melody or any part of it, it's going to sound awkward, okay? If it were a painting, it would be like you left a color out, or you didn't fill, you traced something, but you didn't fill it in with color. So in this case here, we want to keep counting all the time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'll also anticipate the mute, or the ghost strum, I should say. I like to anticipate that by kind of ramping up my voice, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and kind of accenting that one before it. If you do that, that's going to help a lot. Hopefully you're using a thinner pick, and then that's going to help with what you're doing. So levels 1 and 2 are leaving out or doing a ghost strum on the up strums only, okay? Level 3 is introducing ghost strums on the downbeat, and this is kind of a game changer. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but most students, when I'm teaching this to them, they kind of get a little bit dismayed that they can't do it right away. And so I have a few tricks to help you to get this down, okay? So the idea is this: when we're strumming the ghost strum on a down strum, what happens is that we have to compensate, or we have to do something for that spot there so that we feel like the strum is actually happening. You'll know this when you try this. So let's try one. We're going to leave out the 4, okay? And if we were to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? And that means the 4, we're not going to hit the strings, but we're going to go past the strings, and we're going to put our hand out and then come up for that "and," so that we're in time again. We always want the down beats to have down strums and the up beats to have up strums, okay? If you take that information, that's the only thing you take from this video, and you really digest that and use it for your strumming, it's going to help out a ton. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Now if you're like most folks out there, you messed up on that, and that's okay, totally okay. If you didn't, that's even better, but you're gonna get this because everybody experiences this. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think 1 and 2 and 3 and bringing your hand down here, okay? Now, I have, I'm looking at my videos here, I have another video where we'll be talking about if you're having issues with this, okay? And so we're going to talk about some bits and pieces that you can do to actually help with this. But you may not need it. So once you get to level 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you say it. It helps if you whisper it, okay? And go nice and slow so you can really wrap your mind around what's going on, because you're going to get the first few down, great, and then when it comes to that ghost note, chances are you're going to be like, what's going on, you know what I mean? So do it nice and slow. You can really wrap your mind around it. Do it several times slow. Then come back and slowly speed it up. All right? Use the exercises, use the PDF that I've included for this video. Take your time. This may take you anywhere from, you know, an hour or maybe a half hour to several days to several weeks. It really depends on your background in rhythm and how, if you count to music, if you're involved with music when you listen to it, like drumming on the dashboard or the steering wheel or whatever, has everything to do with, you know, those sorts of things. So, and everybody is where they're at. It's okay. If you're not where you think you should be, you're going to get there. Okay, I promise you. So, with all that being said, you know what your homework is. Go through those exercises in the PDF, and basically you're going to go through level 1, 2, 3, or 4 in order, and you're going to do each one for several times through. Okay, no, don't just do one and then go to the next and the next and next. Do it several times through to where you're like, okay, I get the feel of this, because it's going to be graduating pretty quickly, and they're going to get harder. Not necessarily 5 levels of hardness. Really, 1 and 2 are pretty much the same. Then level 3, it brings in this new idea, and 4 and 5 slightly harder. Okay, so don't fear that it's just going to get crazy difficult. It doesn't. Okay, so take your time with this. Have fun with this. Remember, you're on a journey here. So 3/4 of the fun here in playing guitar is the journey, okay? And you're always going to be getting better and better. So you're never really going to arrive at where you want to be. You're always getting better. So take your time and enjoy this process. All right, let's keep going.